I want to give a special thanks to Gilbert Arenas, because if it was not for this man, we would not have this week-long vacation away from talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James and who is the greatest player in NBA history. We can actually shift our focus to something else for once, have a different debate, have a different conversation. So that brings our attention to Steph Curry versus Magic Johnson. Who is the greatest point guard in NBA history? Who is the greatest player to play that position in the NBA ever? Now, I did a ranking of my top 5 point guards in history. Go check that video out. Come back, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for helping the channel grow, because if I'm not growing, I'm staying stagnant. And y'all know with this YouTube thing, sleep is the cousin of death. Let's break this thing down.
He's heating up.
Magic Johnson is a Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star, 2-time Steals champ, 10-time All-NBA, 3-time Finals MVP, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 4-time assist champ, 5-time NBA champ, All-Rookie, 3-time MVP, and member of the 75th anniversary team. And might I add, 2-time Hall of Famer. 92 Dream Team, can't forget that. Now, Steph Curry, on the other hand, he is a future Hall of Famer. 9-time All-Star, Steals champ, 9-time All-NBA, 2-time MVP, first unanimous MVP in NBA history, All-Star Game MVP, Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, which is named after Magic Johnson, member of the 75th anniversary team, All-Rookie, 4-time NBA champ, and 2-time scoring champ. You can't go wrong with either of these guys. You can put these players on any team you want to, and the belief is that with these individuals, you have a chance to win an NBA championship. So I'm not going to look at the numbers in this particular conversation, because I feel like everybody on every other channel, every other debate, they're already reading off the numbers. The rankings that I put out in the other video, okay? At number 5, I had Chris Paul. I had Steph Curry at 4, 3 Oscar Robertson, 2 Zeke, 1 Magic Johnson. For me, Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas were 1 and 2 because I felt they are the blueprint for what a point guard is in the NBA. But the more time that goes on, the more we watch Steph Curry add on to his legacy, that conversation becomes more fluid. The argument for Steph versus Magic is that Steph Curry changed the game in a way that Magic Johnson did not. Steph Curry absolutely changed not only the way the game is played in the NBA, he changed the way the game is played in college and in high school. The game was more so inside out. You had to have a dominant force in the paint. You throw it inside, you work from there. You get twos. If twos aren't there and they collapse, you kick it out for the wide open 3. The game is much more 3-point oriented because analytics, obviously understanding that 3s are greater than 2s, especially if you're able to shoot it at a high percentage. Steph Curry is a 50, 40, 90 guy. Nobody in NBA history is going to be able to say that they can shoot like Steph Curry. But if you can shoot enough of them, the difference will add up. Now, the reason I don't completely disagree with that argument, I disagree with the fact that the assumption is Magic Johnson hadn't changed the game in the way Steph Curry did. Nobody is going to say that Magic Johnson made a bunch of other 6'9" guys want to play point guard. There's relatively a handful of point forwards in the league that had enormous success to where they got into the Hall of Fame, their all-time greats, Scottie Pippen, LeBron James, to name a few. Then you want to add in Penny Hardaway, 6'9" guy. But to say that at the point guard position, nobody's going to be able to say they were able to follow up Magic Johnson. But think about it from this aspect. If Magic Johnson hadn't come into the NBA, we would probably view that league the same way a lot of people view the WNBA. The WNBA is a professional basketball league, but it has little interest at this point in some people's eyes. I'm a fan, but not everybody feels that way. Not everybody's going to sit down and watch a WNBA game. Magic Johnson saved the NBA along with Larry Bird. If it was not for those two individuals, the NBA might not even be around today. They were not making the kind of money that they are today, and that's a hat off to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and then later on Michael Jordan. But if Magic doesn't come into the league, we're not seeing the NBA money we're seeing today. We're not seeing the TV deals. Heck, we're not even seeing television live games on TV if it was not for Magic Johnson. So in that aspect, he did change the game. Now, my argument for Magic Johnson against Steph that I'm not a fan of is Magic Johnson was a floor general in ways Steph Curry is not. Magic Johnson, his vision, his basketball IQ, his understanding of the game, his ability to manipulate the pieces on the board, the chessboard, if you will, unmatched, okay? In the way that he did it. Because again, like I said, the blueprint, Magic, Zeke, on how to play the point guard position, that was the view. Now, Steph Curry is, because of how lethal his shooting ability is, he is the best floor general in the entire NBA. LeBron James, Chris Paul, phenomenal floor generals. Phenomenal. But understanding that Steph Curry, when he has the ball, he is a threat to give you 30, 50, 40, 90. But he is just as much a threat without the ball in his hands, and he's even more dangerous in that aspect because of the opportunities he creates for his teammates, whether he has the ball or not. That is a floor general. Being able to control every aspect of the game, being able to control pace, being able to put players in position, being able to run the offense without even having the ball in his hands. That is a phenomenal floor general. Let's try to understand just how great Steph and Magic are by looking at their rivalries. I'm not talking about Magic and Bird. I'm not talking about Steph and LeBron. I'm talking about Magic and Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about Steph and Damian Lillard. Understand this. If Magic didn't exist, Isaiah Thomas would be the one we're talking about as the greatest point guard ever. If Steph Curry didn't exist, we would be talking about Damian Lillard as being one of the best, if not the best point guard in this era. But because of the greatness of Magic, because of the greatness of Steph, they are so far above those two individuals, and the greatness of those two individuals does not take a hit, not even a little bit. There's levels to this. Now, my point about Isaiah Thomas, okay? I had Isaiah Thomas definitely locked into that number 2 spot. He's like Paul Pierce from the perspective that he's constantly going out of his way to go at Michael Jordan through the media, through podcast interviews, versus just saying, y'all don't understand how good I was. I did X, Y, and Z. It doesn't have to be about Michael Jordan, because guess what? Your legacy is bigger than just Michael Jordan. You beat more teams than just Michael Jordan. Now, he said he didn't like you. You feel like he kept you off the 92 Dream Team. Fine. Be upset about that, but understand you did some great things in the course of your career. Don't let the fact that you're angry or feuding with this one guy take away from just how great you are, because some point down the line, all these interviews, all these podcasts that you're doing is going to come back and bite you in the behind, and everybody's going to say, you know what? I don't think he's even in my top 5 anymore. He just seems like a bitter old man. And at that point, you doing all these interviews and going back and forth through the media, people are going to start to try to take away from your legacy even more so than you think they already are. Let me know in the comments, who do you feel is the greatest point guard in NBA history? I'm just letting you know, shedding some light on some of the arguments that they may not be as accurate as being presented. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. That's one more for the good guys.
He's heating up.